everybody, welcome to my home studio. I'm going to start to do a few more videos about how I make my music and kind of the stories behind what I do, because I think that some of it's kind of interesting. I think maybe the most interesting thing about it is that I kind of do everything with no money and very limited equipment, a lot of which I've been given or fixed or kind of cobbled together. And today's no different. One of the problems that I have in my studio quite a lot is because of the equipment I'm using, the computer is very dated. I don't feel like I ever really get effective mixing and mastering in the way that I'd like it to be. It's getting better over the years as I get better, but I'd like to do more about that. So you may have noticed, if you watch my videos for a long while, that there used to be just 2 speakers here, and now I've got 6, and they're all here to do a different thing. But what I'd like to do now is to make them all operate individually so that I can switch between them, so that when I'm mastering I can get a really nice comparison between all different kinds of speakers. These ones on the far end, these are APS Eons, and I got these off eBay many years ago, and they're kind of reference monitors. But what I found is that mixing on these tends to make my mixes quite dull because they have a lot of treble sound in. So when I was younger and making music in my teenage years, I used to mix on these bottom speakers. These are 1960s Dynatron speakers from a home hi-fi system, but a very nice home hi-fi system. And they have a very strong low mid-range. They have a very strong sort of 1-2 kilohertz. That's really good to have, because listening to that tells me when my mixes have too much middle in. And then these top ones, Leek sandwich speakers, which are also from the 1960s and would also have been very expensive when they were new, and they have a lot of character too. They have a lot of sort of 3 to 4 kilohertz. They have a lot of presence. So I've got 3 different sets of ears for 3 different kinds of stereo systems that people might have, and then I have my headphones too. So I can make lots of masters between these, and then experiment maybe too on playing them on other systems. Once those masters are made, I can take them into the car and stuff like that. So it's all about, mastering is all about kind of finding a balance and finding the perfect shape for your sound. So after you've got your mix and you're happy with what you've made, you're trying to make a sound that will play back nicely on everybody's hi-fi, whether it's sort of like a mobile phone or a laptop, or whether it's like a top end sort of very high grade hi-fi. You want to kind of mix a compromise. I wanted to show you some of the other speakers that I have in this room. These are an invention of mine that I call my bed phones. So I have a set of speakers on each side of my bed, and it means that I can lie down and listen to music in perfect stereo. And I have to tell you, you haven't experienced music until you've heard it through bedphones. It really is just the best way to hear music. These speakers are kind of buried, but they're a set of Goodman's Magnum Ks, which were very apparently high-end hi-fi speakers in the 1960s. And I just don't have anywhere big enough to put them, which is kind of frustrating, because I think they'd sound pretty cool. Of course, for mixing and mastering, headphones are also really useful. So these APS speakers are already plumbed in. My problem is that I haven't plumbed in yet these Dynatron and Leek sandwich speakers in a way that we can use them very readily when we want. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Okay, so this is our patch bay. So what I have at the minute is, coming in the back, we have the outputs from this, the Motu 828 sound card that I use to record the music. So this playback is going through the back of this patch bay, and the top 2 channels here, it's feeding back into the APS reference monitors. So that's kind of a standard, but what you can do with this patch bay is you can program it in such a way that if I plug these plugs in here, this then patches the signal into this amplifier here at the top, and that will go to either set of speakers, which we're going to patch into the other end of the patch bay. What we can also do, I've just discovered, is that if we plug it into this top set, we can have both the APS speakers and whatever other speakers were running through the amplifier. And then we'll use these at the other end to adjust which speakers that we're using for the other ones. So we have loads of different options for our mastering, and that's really, really great. I'm super chuffed about this, and I think it's really going to improve the sound of the new record, The Consumerist Part 2.
Such a man entangled with the Amazon she glows. She leaves behind a trail of glee, all seeing stars in ecstasy then goes. In the velvet light of the crimson night, she's shivering. Ease my mind, turn my time, save my life.
Okay, so this is the moment of truth. Are you ready? Doesn't seem to be working. Oh, I have it on the wrong channel. Yes!
This life we lead is I've got to go. It's in my bones. 'Cause there's too much hatred in my home.
Fantastic. So I can choose between the main speakers and the auxiliary speakers. So that is very cool. I'm extremely happy about that. I wonder if... And I can listen to both at once. That's amazing. I'm so happy with that. Okay. Now we have to see if we can fit another set of speakers into the setup. But I'm going to have to find some jack plugs from somewhere.
My train carries me. Got my jacket, got my case, as I race through open space, on my way to meet my destiny. It's martial law behind this door, and I'm not welcome anymore. I'm going to run away, baby, I'm going to run away. And all these stupid things I've done, they're not gonna matter when I've looked and gone. I'll run away, one of these days I'll run away. Those railway tracks will make me free, 'cause there won't be following me, following me, following me, following me, following me.
Okay, so just as a quick demo, if we pull these out, we just have the APS speakers playing this music. Don't know if you can hear that, but it's quite toppy. But then if we plug these speakers in, we now just have the Leek Sandwich speakers, which are still quite toppy, but they're a lot warmer. And if we pull this out of here and pop them into there, we have both sets of speakers together. And then if we should want to swap the Leek speakers for the Dynatron speakers, what we have to do is pull these out and stick these in. Well, I'm really happy with that. I'm really over the moon. My Leek Sandwich speakers are sounding great. My Donatron speakers are sounding great. I really love that I can play the APS speakers and one of these two sets at the same time. That makes it really cool because although I'm not sure that's the best thing for mastering, it makes music just sound so cool when you're playing through two different sets of speakers, and that combination of the characteristics is really a really sexy sound. Like, I'm very happy with it. So yeah, that's good. Hopefully the new record, The Consumerist, which I'm currently mastering and why I built all these things, it's going to be The Consumerist Part 2, and hopefully that should be coming out very soon, and hopefully it will sound better than the other records because of this beautiful setup that we've just created. Anyway, that's another day in the studio. See you soon.
She might follow through if you'd only take the chance, but you don't.